So there are several different types of resumes, but when I think of like what are the main types of resumes, there is the chronological resume. You guys probably all seen it before, and it's probably what you think of when you think of a resume, right? You start with your present position at the top of the list and work your way backwards in time as far as listing your experience goes. The other type of resume is called a functional resume. And a functional resume does things a little differently. Instead of listing your work experience right at the top and going in reverse chronological order, instead it's about highlighting your skills at the top, maybe writing a small summary of a profile about who you are. And functional resumes also don't necessarily have to have an in-order work experience. Instead, they'll just say something like professional experience or related experience, and then it just lists the jobs related to the job that you're applying for. And so functional resumes are really good for those that are transitioning to instructional design from another career. However, there's one more type of resume, and this is the kind that I would encourage you guys to make. And that is a combination of the functional and the chronological. And so I would encourage you to do the combination where you still have the skills right there at the top, listed out your instructional design skills, the tools that you are proficient in, and a summary profile of how your skills translate to the specific job that you're applying for. And all of it should be tailored, right, to the job that you're applying for. And then, of course, you can also still put the reverse chronological order of your experience on a combo one, because that, let's get real. That is what hiring managers are looking for, right? They even if they want to see your skills and it is useful for, translating your skills to the new field, they still expect to see a job history. And so that's the beauty of the combination resume. It's functional and it's chronological. Some of the most common challenges that we see in the IELTS Courses Academy as far as resume errors go is writing too much. It's almost as if like when people are lying and they say too much to try to make the lie seem believable. It's kind of one of those situations, right? Not that you're lying, but that you are trying to make up for the insecurity that you feel about making the transition to instructional design. And so you just, vomit all over your resume to try to make up for that insecurity. And so that's one of the first things, just too much extraneous information. And the other one is that there's inconsistency as far as what things are capitalized. There's inconsistency in the point of view that is written on the resume, or even inconsistent as far as like where the dates go or how things are formatted. That might show up as inconsistent, or even inconsistent in the type of language that they use throughout the resume. The other thing is the key words are missing. So instead of using the words that we use as instructional designers, like needs analysis, project management, instructional design, learning management systems, and all these other things about assessments and performance and KSAs and things like that, those words are missing, right? And a lot of that is like, you don't know what you don't know, but you want to fill up your resume with instructional design key words. And that jargon becomes really important because that's one of the indicators that you know what you're talking about, because you can speak the language of instructional design. Oh, and the last thing is that's usually missing from those that are trying to make the transition is they're missing any kind of quantifiable data in their resume. So instead of saying, I created training for 500 students that delivered X percentage of results and things like that. Instead, they just say, I created curriculum or I designed curriculum, right? And so it's missing any of the numbers. And so the more numbers and the more ways that you can quantify what it is that makes your impact so big and your value in the organization that you were in previously, all the better. And the more numbers you can put in general, right? Even in your profile, like how many years of experience have you had, or how many presentations have you done? What are those metrics as far as maybe your student data, your learner data, right? So those are the main things that are errors. So there's a lot of ways, even though you don't have experience, what you can have are skills. And when you focus on building your skills, focus on building your skills so much that it doesn't even matter anymore, really, when it comes to experience or anything else, right? If you know the tools, you can produce great designs and all those kinds of things. If you can do the work, you have the skills to do the work, then the experience doesn't matter as much. But there are other ways that you can also get experience, right? And so you can add things like certificate programs, digital credentials, school, more education. Those things also help with overcoming a lack of experience. And then the last tip is that you can actually go and get experience through volunteering. And so you can volunteer in several different ways. Yeah, of course, it can be for a nonprofit, but you can volunteer for instructional design freelancer that you know. You can volunteer for your friend's company. You can volunteer for the library. You can just volunteer as part of your networking strategy. And so if you can do that, then you can get the experience that you can then talk about in your resume, and you can also add it to your resume, right? So if you are doing something like a functional resume where you just talk about related experience, well, volunteer experience is related, and you can talk about and include all those specific keywords and put some more data in there to beef up your experience.